Felicity from GetYourRockOut here with Chris from Lionize. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic.
Cheers.
And we're here in Manchester. We're a few dates into the Clutch tour, and how's it gone so far?
It's awesome. It's fantastic. It's always great with Clutch. And it's our first time in the UK, so everything is a new experience, you know?
Oh, wow. And so what do you really like about the UK so far, or have you not found anything quite yet?
Well, no, I found everyone is extremely polite.
Really?
Yeah, at least compared to working clubs and dealing with people at clubs and stuff, it's a lot more polite than the average. Now, granted, we've only done 2 shows.
And, yeah, by the end of it, you'll just be like, oh.
Right, and I've been dealing with the crew today, and they've been awesome. So yeah, everybody seems pretty nice. Yeah, the food's been awesome and pretty inexpensive. Everybody said it was going to be ridiculously expensive, but I think maybe I just eat cheap, crappy food, you know.
But that's really good. I'm really glad that you've come out with such positive experience.
Yeah, totally.
That's fantastic. And you know, I mean, you guys have got a long history with Clutch, and it must be brilliant to kind of get back on the road with them. I mean, when it comes to the touring side of things, have you really got that kind of family vibe going on between the two bands now?
Yeah, totally. Well, their sound guy runs our sound, and as you know, Oscar's helping us with the press and everything. So yeah, I mean, everybody to the last man on that crew is like our really, really good friends, you know, and it's been years, 7, 8 years since we've been doing tours with them, you know, so yeah, it's super buddy, really easy, you know. And
like Neil did some guest vocals on a track of yours, and I spoke to him before, and I was like, oh, so can we see you? You know, can we expect to see you on stage at any point? And he was like, well, I don't know, if they ask me, then I might consider it. So
really?
You know, I was just like, oh, you know, I'll float that to you.
Well, yeah, that's
just gonna mention that.
We have never done that live. I'm not really sure why. It's a super old song. It's from a record. God, at this point, it's an embarrassing number of years ago, I think, that we did it, so I think we'd all have to relearn it, and we've got a new drummer since then, so he'd have to learn it. But it's not.
Could be worth.
Yeah, we've got a couple days off coming up, so maybe we can suss it out. And,
yeah, I like that thought. I think that should definitely happen.
Yeah, but we always do some kind of guesting change up. Tim, before the end of this tour, for sure, Tim will be playing a couple of songs with us. I'm gonna jam a song with Clutch tonight. So yeah, we kind of tie it up. JP produced our last record, so it's like we'll tie it all up all the time.
No, it's really, really nice that, and you know, your latest album as well was just been released on Weathermaker, which is great. And so how's that worked out for you guys?
It's been great. It's been our best release so far, both musically and you know, with sales and reception and everything else. So there's awesome growth, and a lot of that has to do with Weathermaker and the affiliation. And it's just great. It's easy to know that, you know, there's no chance that this is going to turn out weird for us, because we know that they're our friends. We know what they have to gain. They know what we have to gain. We know what they have to lose. We have nothing to lose because we're young and broke, you know. But everybody understands everybody's intentions.
Not to rip you off, which is always
right.
Nice.
Yeah, we can trust them not only to not rip us off, but to, you know, to fulfill the rest of the contract that we have with them, and to make sure that we never run out of CDs on the road or anything crazy like that. You know, there's all kinds of little things that you don't think about with the people that you work with to help put out records that you know, do and don't get done in the long run. So yeah, everything operates really, really well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And so will you be kind of going down that route next time you release something as well?
Yes, we will. Brilliant. Our next couple releases will be with Weathermaker for sure. Yeah,
really
it sure is.
Yeah, and like the UK release date was a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
How has it been received? How have you found the UK reception to a relatively kind of unknown, unplayed to audience?
Right. To be totally honest, I don't know how the record itself is doing in the UK. I know it's being received extremely well from reviews and such that I've read. I don't know what we're actually selling over here. I hope it's great. But the audiences at the shows have been fantastic. The first 2 shows were awesome. We sold a ton of merch and signed a bunch of CDs, and you know, so it's been really. And the first 2 show reviews we saw were exceptionally good. So we're more than stoked to find a welcome audience here.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely. And have you found that the UK audiences have known the songs when it's come to a couple of songs and on a couple of the shows?
I would say more like a couple of people, but
to be honest,
I would say a couple of people. I can see a couple of people each night that seem to know all the songs.
Oh, really?
Which is super rad, you know.
Fantastic.
the Clutch's merch guy who's doing our merch said that somebody came up to him last night and they said they just were so stoked that we were in the UK and they've been waiting so long to see us. And that's awesome. That's so awesome to hear. That makes it worth it to do all the shit to get over here and you know, just to know that like at least somebody was waiting for us to show up, you know.
No, I mean that's brilliant, and you know, I mean it's the first time. I have no doubt that it's not going to be the last time that you play over here if it's gone so well so far.
Yeah, I certainly hope not. I'm sure we'll be back soon.
I mean, you've also been announced for the Vans Warped Tour. I mean, that must feel pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. We did it in 2011, and it's what it does for a band like us is pretty incredible. You know, it just put us in contact with so many people. We met so many different people on that tour. We toured with bands from the tour for the next 2 years, basically.
Seriously?
We did the tour, and then we just filled our schedule with tours of people that we met, like Lucero and Lionize Flask, a bunch of cool bands that we got along with and stuff. So I think this year is going to be awesome. We're putting it all together now, kind of sussing the details of buses and things like that. So, you know, it's a tough tour, you know. It's difficult logistically, and it's much different than any other tour. So it takes a lot of careful planning, but once you actually get out there on the road, it's fun. Yeah.
I mean, it basically seems like the year that everything's kind of happening for you guys.
Yeah, I hope you're right about that. It's certainly the year where a lot of stuff is happening all at once, which is great. We've been super, super busy, and can't complain about that, you know.
And so the next kind of few months or so, I mean, what else have you got planned? You know, I mean, you've got the Vans tour. What else? And I know it's probably too soon to start talking about another album, but are you putting tentative plans together for that already?
We're not. We're talking. I mean, of course, we're going to do another record. We're in the practice room. Right. We just moved to a new practice space. I just moved to a new house. We have a new practice space.
Oh, nice.
So we're down there plugging away at some new stuff. I won't even say songs yet. We're just kind of like writing stuff, jamming on stuff, coming up with stuff, recording it, seeing what we got, taking pieces out. And so we're starting the process of really writing songs again, which is really fun because that's the best part of this whole thing is.
Oh, really?
You know, writing and making. Yeah, of course. I mean, the creation of the art is it's the most, I don't know, the most rewarding aspect. You know, to make something and complete it and have it done, and you know, which of course is years away. I'm sure, not years, but many, 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 many months from now, there will be some completed project of what we're starting now.
And so do you enjoy the studio side of things? Do you enjoy actually being in the recording studio and doing all that?
I somewhat enjoy being in the recording studio. I really enjoy writing and arranging the music in general sense. Sometimes the studio can be a bit of a getting it done kind of vibe when you're just tracking and this and that. Not that, you know, and you have to get in and out. It's sort of like acting, you know, where you have to get in and out of a certain headspace quickly to be able to perform well. You know, it's the same way because you'll track for 30 seconds and then sit there and listen to takes for 10 minutes and then you get 30 more seconds to track. So you have to kind of be in and out of it, and you know, it's a different thing. But I like the aspect of creating it and making it. And playing live is basically that. You know, we try to improvise as much as possible to keep the playing, you know, we all sort of enjoy that aspect, the making of the music, you know. So we keep it super improvisational live, just for our own benefit, I think, you know.
Well, that's made me look forward to the show tonight even more. I should probably let you go because you're on stage in like half an hour. But sure. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat. It has just been an absolute pleasure. And see you in half an hour's time.
Absolutely.
Have a fantastic
Cheers.
show.
Thanks very much.